Dates and Mates with your host, Damona Hoffman.
Hello, lovers. Welcome to Dates and Mates, your source for modern love advice. This is the place where we're going to make modern love simple for you. I'm so excited that you are joining me here on this beautiful holiday season. It's a little bit unseasonably cold here in Los Angeles.
It finally feels like winter. I kind of like it.
I had
It's
to
been
put on a
so
coat.
ungodly hot.
It was 50 degrees. I
I
had to
know.
put on. It rained last night. I don't know. Everybody else in the rest of the country is like, shut the heck up. We're trudging through snow, trying to get to our dates and our holiday parties. Right. So I know we have nothing to worry about here. But if you have any worries in your mind right now for the holiday season, just let them go. We're gonna take you on a journey through love and relationships and hopefully fill your heart up with happiness today. We have a fantastic show where we'll be talking about how to amp up romance. I have a little visual aid. This will give you a little taste if you're watching on the Facebook live stream of what's to come. Ooh. Okay, I don't want to get it too hot too soon. And if you're listening on the audio, we will reveal what's so hot later in the show. We'll be talking about the potentially deadly effects of a celebrity relationship reunion. We'll also discuss Zoosk's. Say that 5 times fast. Zoosk's. Year-end roundup of online dating statistics and what single men need to change about their dating approach in the new year. We also have some questions and technically dating from you folks at home, our listeners, as well as from our new partner, Black People Meet. And there's a lot of people that need a lot of dating advice today. So we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about how to tell if your online lover is a catfish and what to do if you're ready to end your marriage, but you never actually had to date. I'm not doing this alone, though, folks. I have brought in the top-notch dating expert. I had to bring in the big guns for like all of this dating advice that we need to dish out. So I have sitting here in studio with me Julie Spira, one of my oldest and dearest friends, well, my youngest, longest, dearest friends in the dating and relationship business. Let me tell you a little bit about her. This is actually her 3rd time on the show.
It is.
You are the reigning queen of returning visits to Dates and Mates. She's America's top online dating expert and digital matchmaker. She's the founder of Cyber Dating Expert. You can check out that website, cyberdatingexpert.com. She's been coaching singles on finding love online for over 2 decades. I boast about 1 decade, but you got 2 under your belt. And you've been in the media with over 1,500 stories, including I just got my January issue of Cosmo.
You know, it's the one with that like bedside, astrological guide,
Yes,
that hot one.
You have to get that every year. And Julie's in this month's issue of Cosmopolitan on newsstands. She's also the recipient of the 2017 iDate Award for Best Dating Coach. I voted for you.
Aww.
And she's a finalist for 2018. Can people still vote for you?
Yes, keep voting. Yes.
iDateAwards.com.
iDateAwards.com. Vote for your favorite matchmakers, dating coaches, sites, apps, all that fun stuff.
Okay, well, you're going to want to hear the advice she has, and then you're going to run to your computer and vote for her because she most definitely is the best dating coach of 2018. And now she's the best dating coach to join me on Dates and Mates. Please give big smooches to Julie Spira.
Aww. Hello, everyone. Happy to be here.
Hello. I'm so glad you could join me because we really have a lot of questions from folks. But before we get into all that, I did show a little secret gift from my boudoir. I have a new partner on today's show, Splendies. And they gave us some Splendy underwear. I mean, the way this thing works, you get 3 underwears a month. And it's like a subscription service, like wine of the month, cheese of the month, underwear of the month. And so you never know what cute styles are going to come in the Splendies box. And so I'm doing a giveaway at the break, so stay tuned for that. And Julie, I have a little gift for you. I have some Splendies. They come in this kind of package.
Oh, I wonder if that's supposed to go in someone's stocking.
It's going in your stocking, dear, because this is a gift for you.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know if it'll be too weird for you to open it up on here, but
well, what color is it?
I don't know. That's the thing. It's a surprise. It's a Splendy surprise. But we'll open it up later and we'll tell you what's in Julie's pack. But I thought this would be the perfect time to talk about amping up romance because especially during the holidays, it's so busy. Everybody's so stressed. It's hard to find love even though there's so many people online. We talked about that last week. There's the most number of singles online.
Ever.
How come people can't seem to connect?
it is so challenging. I think we all have our expectations list and our bucket list and our perfect man list or perfect woman list. And, everybody has these ridiculous expectations. And I think what happens is, someone's going to feel that they don't match up and they're going to swipe left because they just don't feel like, they're going to, fulfill all of your fantasies and dreams.
Look, I know, Julie, you're a straight shooter. So I'm just going to cut right to the chase because people always say to me, it's so much harder to date now. Online dating just makes it so hard and nobody's paying attention and everybody's just swipe, swipe, swipe. Do you think that's true?
I think that there are people that will just swipe, but there are the same people that wouldn't take their profiles down when there were no mobile apps. I think that right now online dating is everyone has to have an online and an offline strategy. And if you don't have a digital strategy, you are leaving an opportunity to fill your date card. Gone.
Okay, but let's talk about the ladies that say to me, well, I don't want to seem too desperate. Like, I don't want to make it look like I'm trying too hard. And, by being online and sending messages, some women feel like they're chasing.
Then they're not very secure. Men love confident women. And a confident woman is going to be the person who says, I really enjoyed seeing your profile. You've got a killer smile. And, what kind of dog is that? Or what's the name of your pup? Men are so frustrated that they write to like 50 women and maybe one writes back. So when they get an email into their inbox from somebody or a message on the app, they're actually flattered. And if they're available and they're a secure, confident man and they're really looking for a relationship, they will be flattered. They will write back. They will want to meet you. If they don't write back, well, they're just playing around and having fun and they weren't the right match for you anyway.
I agree with that. And that's why last week I did a Damona's diatribe about online dating fear. And I said what's keeping a lot of women from being online and sending those messages is not the fear of meeting someone and having it, like they say, there's creeps online and so I can't do that. It's not that fear. It's the fear of rejection. But what I didn't do last week, Julie, and hopefully you can help me out with this, is give people solutions and strategies for getting over that fear of the rejection, which does happen with online dating. If guys are sending out 50 messages, they're only getting
one or two, maybe
less than 10 responses, right?
On a good day.
On a good day.
If he's tall, dark, and handsome and rich. I'm telling you that men are used to not getting responses from women. And so they have to look at the expectations as no different than if they're looking for their dream job. Being very persistent, logging on twice a day, checking your email, writing to 10 people a day. I know it sounds like a goddamn chore, excuse my language, but it is not a chore. It's love, and it's the most important thing in your life. It's more important than the job that's going to last 3 months to 3 years. This is someone that you're hoping to spend the rest of your life with. And if you have an opportunity of meeting them by writing one extra email, get to it.
Get to it. But when you get offline and get to the date,
yes,
that's a whole other thing. So since we're talking about amping up romance today, what are your tips when you're moving onto that date to make that connection with someone and feel the spark and the butterflies?
Oh, the chemistry. So online chemistry and offline chemistry, there's just no guarantee they're going to match. So you have to hope. But what you need to do is when you go on that date, you need to relax. You need to think about meeting a new friend. You need to think about having a nice enough time that your goal is to put a second date on the calendar before you leave the first date. I mean, that's your goal, is to get the second date and keep things moving along. Lessens your possibilities of, being stuck in rotation. And the people that ask a lot of questions on the date and are curious about someone are the dates that go better. So if you look at someone's profile and do your homework, look at your profile before you go on the date. And don't call Jeff Jim. And don't call, Sally Susie.
That's the first way to get rejected, right?
Right. Or don't say something stupid like, God, you don't look anything like your photos. You may think it, just don't say it. And the goal is just to get to know someone and find out about their life, find out about their passions, their favorite rock group, their favorite travel spot, the travel spot they've never gone to that's on the bucket list. Talk about light, fun things that have nothing to do with, I've been on so many dates and I can't stand this process. Please don't tell me I'm going to go on 10 more dates.
What about that strategy where people ask about your online dating experience. That just seems to me the worst way to start a date. Like they always say, if you meet someone through a friend, the worst way to start a date is to just be like talking about your friend that introduced you. So in a way, the online dating, the dating app or the dating site is the friend that connected you. And if you're just talking about what your experience is with online dating, how do you respond to that? Because so many guys and women, that's the go-to. How long have you been on the app?
I know, it happens all the time because people are nervous when they go on dates. And they need to have this little cheat sheet of do not talk about an ex, do not ask if you've had bad dates, do not ask how long have you been on the site. Because there's no good answer to that. It's like, how many people have you had sex with? There's no good answer to that. How long have you been on a dating site or a dating app?
What if that was a first date question and they're just like, so I just wanted to know, how many people have you had sex with? Like, that is the worst way to start off the date.
It's the same thing with asking about your bad dates. You just change the subject and say, oh, you're my first, and blush and bat your eyelashes if you're a girl, or just switch the subject. And
I don't even remember now that I'm sitting across from you.
Yes, flirt, bat
good
your
one,
eyelashes.
Right? Producer Thomas, that was a good one. I need a guy's
I'm a
opinion
fan.
here.
Yeah, no, I think that was good.
I'm all about like the coy flip.
Yeah.
You just steer the conversation to
Always
where you want it
a
to
fan
go.
of a nice coy flip. It keeps it going.
Coy flip. Can I TM?
Yeah.
So beyond the coy flip, once you're in the relationship, that is really where the work comes in to keep the romance alive. And especially now during the holiday season, it's not easy when we have all these other pressures and, families come into town and you're traveling, you're dealing with the kids. How can people keep the romance during this time of year?
It really is a challenge, and especially if you're in a new relationship and you might be meeting somebody's parents or children. And these days, meeting children and adult children is sort of a high-pressure thing for the holidays. And gift-giving, high pressure for the holidays. When you start to feel a little anxious about your relationship, take a breath, take a time out. Don't even talk for a day, just be busy, because the worst thing you can do is have these ridiculous, back to the expectations of, oh my gosh, I'm going to meet, your parents, and what do I bring as a gift, and what am I wear, and what am I not allowed to talk about? And it's like, just be yourself, just be comfortable, confident in yourself.
Are you a lingerie girl? Well, would you bring out a little number like this and say okay, it's romance. This is also, it's a red, lacy, completely see-through panty. My husband hasn't seen these yet, but I think he's going to like them. I think, knowing him, I think he's going to like them. But some people are lingerie people, some people are not lingerie people. Isn't it good, though, to switch it up if you're always wearing, the Hanes briefs? How sexy can it get?
No, not much. When we think about some of the things that are important to keep the relationship amped up, some of the things are traditional, like sending flowers will never go out of style. Buying jewelry will never go out of style. Sending a card or a sweet text will never go out of style. But amp it up with something fun and flirty, like send a gift, send a text message, hey, handsome, thinking about you today, or God, you were amazing last night. Can't wait for the finale. Flirt it up a little bit with the text messages. And I said, send gifts, send, digital greeting cards. Do fun things to keep it spiced up besides just showing up in the same lingerie every week. And by the way, even though it's cold, please don't wear flannel pajamas if you really want to have a sexy night with your guy.
Wait, Julie. My regular pajamas are flannel Minnie Mouse pajamas. So that's a no?
No, it means.
I'm not joking. I'm not at all joking.
I love my flannels. It was 45 degrees in LA. Here's the thing: put on the sexy lingerie for your sexy time, and then, when you're ready to really fall asleep, go grab that flannel.
Or put on the sexy lingerie under the flannel, and then he'll be really surprised. I'm all about the element of surprise. He's not expecting it. Then you just, ta-da! I've got my Splendies on, and then suddenly, the whole tone of the evening will change.
Oh, lingerie will make any man happy.
I like what you said, though, about the gift, because I think that keeps it really light and fun, and sometimes that's what we lose in the relationship. We do have some questions from our Black People Meet fans on communication and dating that we'll tackle in a little bit, but first, we got to move on to the headlines.
Dee's Dating Dish.
Julie, I'm sure you've been following the news because I get actually, this is not even a joke, Julie. I get most of my news from Julie Spira's Twitter feed. So you can follow her at Julie Spira because literally she's breaking news on dating and relationships before like all of before TMZ. It's Julie Spira, not even joking. So speaking of TMZ, this story came to us from TMZ, so I'm sure you already know about it since you're pre-TMZ. But Selena Gomez and the Biebs back together. We talked about it a few weeks ago. There was speculation.
They were rumored to be dating again, but now they've confirmed.
Come on. We saw the photos.
Yeah, we saw the photos.
You heard it here first. I was like, I've analyzed these photos, and it's happening.
There you go.
It is happening to the point where Selena's mom was hospitalized over the news of their relationship. Apparently, they had a fight about him, and she was like, Jesus grabbed the wheel, and it was just too much for her, and she like voluntarily checked herself into a hospital because she was just so distraught over the two of them getting back together. And there was a lot of chatter about this before, where her family, like her whole family, said, if these two get back together, it's over. What do you do when you are in love with someone and your family hates them to the point of needing to hospitalize themselves over the news of you being back together?
That is shocking and painful, and yet it's not shocking. Couples get back together all the time. When celebrity couples get back together or break up, I mean, it's major hard news stories in the entertainment world. So I'm not surprised about them getting back together or at least testing the waters again, because Dr. Helen Fisher, when I had a conversation with her once, she talked because I had a rekindled romance, and she said, your brain is wired to remember the good times that you've had with someone that you've loved and will allow you to try again. Doesn't mean it's going to work out. But we have what she described as the love map. So they're obviously in each other's love maps, and it doesn't mean there's not going to be another, earthquake, and the relationship may not work out. But the fact is, they are so bonded and so connected, and nobody wants to see her get hurt, especially her family. And I'm sorry to see her mother's, blood pressure go up or have to be hospitalized over it. But parents and families don't want to see a repeat performance when their little girl's been hurt.
And she's a pretty good catch. Like, I would think she could, no offense, Biebs, but she could kind of do better than that, right?
Well, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors or in the bedroom. But the fact is,
maybe she can't.
They have amazing chemistry, and they want to give it another shot. And hopefully whatever issues, resulted in the break the last time, they're addressing.
Like him acting like a small child.
Drugged out, toddler.
A man boy.
He's a man boy. But let's give
him
the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he just grew up. And so maybe it's time for her family to give him the opportunity to show that he's changed and to be a man and present himself in that way. But he's going to have a short leash, because if there's one slip up, it's going to just confirm everything that they already believed about him. We got confirmation on a lot of things that you and I think, already knew, Julie Spira, because Zeus came out with a look at dating trends in 2017. This was published in Maxim.com if you want to follow along with us. There's so much data here. I don't want to throw a lot of numbers at people. But I'm going to throw a lot of numbers at people. So this is one thing that I really love, Julie. It said nice guys finish first in as far as Zeus users are concerned. Finish first meaning they have more sex, but basically that means they're totally winning at online dating. Men who used words such as thoughtful, listener, polite, giving, community, give back, and friendly got 66% more messages. And I'm always talking about, because I married a nice guy, and I talk about, I have a philosophy called the Nice Guy 9 of how a nice guy can cinch a girl. And I'm happy to see that the nice guys are coming up, because I don't know that was the trend a few years ago.
No, it hasn't been the trend for years. Women have always been attracted to bad boys since, before any of us were born in this room. And it's nice to see that either guys know the right words to say to woo a woman by being thoughtful and kind and compassionate, or they're actually, ready to step it up and be nice and be kind and be devoted. I mean, we talk about bad boys, we talk about players. And so basically what they're really saying now is women don't want to be in rotation by a player. And when they spot a good guy, they're like, you know what? I'm going to give this a shot.
Well, that was not the only change that we saw. We've reported on this show before that vegans and vegetarians just can't win when it comes to love. But apparently, I'm going to call right now, 2017 is the year of the vegan and vegetarian in love because, according to Zeus, vegetarianism gets you 3% more messages. And I don't know how, but veganism gets you 62% more messages.
My take on that is it's directly related to what a man thinks about a woman's body will look like. And if he thinks that she's eating healthier, it's like the woman who puts yoga in her profile. They think about what kind of positions is she going to be in? She's
It's true. It's true.
She cares about her mind, body, and soul. And so they are flocking to people that say yoga. So vegans and vegetarian is basically saying, I'm not stuffing my face with tacos all day. And so, when I show up on a date, you're not going to be disappointed that I'm going to be potentially within, the visual of what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. But you could be vegetarian and still eat
a
pretty unhealthy taco. I was going to say, I have a theory on this, Julie. I always coach my clients to go towards being more specific in their profile rather than more broad in general, because you might not get the most messages, but you'll get more targeted messages and people will see the connection to you and be more likely to take action. So I'm wondering if there's just more vegans online or people that appreciate veganism and therefore they're getting more targeted response than if they just said, oh, I'm just as comfortable in sweats as I am in an evening gown, because that's what we hear all the time.
Right. Nobody wants that cliche. If we look around the restaurants and the dining opportunities, there are more restaurants that are serving healthy meals. There are more restaurants that are vegan or have gluten-free menus. So I think people are being more health conscious in the way they eat and where they go out to eat, and they're stating it in their profiles. And you're right, they're being specific about it. So it means if I say I'm a vegan, please do not take me to a steakhouse so I can order the chopped salad without whatever.
Oh, seriously though, I don't know if you guys remember producer Natasha from way back, but she's vegan, and she said it's been a real situation for her dating life, and she even had a relationship where it created around the holidays a big issue because she went to her boyfriend's house, his family's house, and they didn't have anything that she could eat, and to her that's like she wanted to know that her meal preference was. It was important to them, and that by making her food, that was their way of including her in the family, which they didn't do. Sorry, Natasha, for spilling your
dating
beans
fail.
in the street. But one last thing I just want to tell you, they saw that the most popular dating day of last year was actually November 15th, the start of cuffing season. But January overall sees a 9% increase in dating, and Match.com has coined Dating Sunday as the first Sunday in January. So they always say it's that first Sunday, after the holidays and people are like New Year's resolution. Yeah. So it's just confirming this is the season, right?
It is the season. I mean, it's in an interesting time right now because breakup season. You remember the breakup chart? It's the 2 weeks leading into December 24th. And I don't want to get woo-woo, but Mercury's in retrograde, and everybody's just so out of sync these days. But here's the thing. People don't break up with people on December 25th. If you're still in each other's arms on Christmas morning, chances are you will be together New Year's Eve.
Chances are, but then January 1st, you're out of there.
Maybe the second, just to give it a day to rest.
I know, right? Okay, last thing. Elite Daily had this cute little article about the 5 resolutions single guys on dating apps need to make in 2018. Julie. I'm thinking of giving you jewelry here. Julie, so they had 5 questions that I'm sure you hear all the time when people are going on that first date. They don't know what to say. So 1, it said ask questions that are not, how was your weekend?
Yeah,
that's like the worst way to get.
That's no different than saying, hey, Exclamation mark.
Hey, beautiful. Number 2, avoid listing your job as entrepreneur. That's a kiss of death, right? They're like, that means he doesn't have a job.
At this point, it used to be a hot job. I mean, Tinder we said that if you say entrepreneur, you get more hits. But now people are thinking that's consultant looking for work.
Yeah, you'll get more hits than if you say unemployed. But yeah, we're on to you now, guys. Number 3, ask your friends to help you pick out your profile pictures, or ask a professional like Julie Spira. Maybe post fewer pictures with sunglasses. How many times have we've been saying no sunglasses forever?
Ditch those sunglasses because it really sends the message that you're hiding something. I want to look right into your eyes, and I want to talk to you and see that you're like not looking somewhere else. And when you're wearing sunglasses, it does send this sort of message that you're hiding something.
And we can't really see what your face looks like, too.
Right. What are you hiding? Do you have a black eye? As I said, if you're women, are you hiding fake eyelashes? What are you hiding?
Are you blind? We just need to know. We're not discriminating. We just need to know these things. Number 5 is propose a specific date and time to go out. I hear this so much more now, Julie, like especially in the last 2 years, when people get into this chat, this never-ending chat. And it never results in a date. And they're like, when are you free? Well, this day. Well, when do you want to ask me? Well, what time? I don't know. I'll let you know. And then it just never happens.
It doesn't. And I tell women when they are ready to meet the men, just say, I'm free Tuesday afternoon at 2 p.m. or Thursday night at 6. Will either of those work for you? And I tell the guys, you always should say a date and a time because women just love a man with a plan.
Ain't that true? That is so true. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have lots of plans for you all at home. We have questions that have been submitted to us through Black People Meet as well as the Techspert app. So we'll be tackling those in Technically Dating right after this. I'm your host, Damona Hoffman, here with Julie Spira, and we'll be back in just a moment. All right, friends, I have a special holiday treat for you. We've been getting gifts for other people this whole holiday season, right? But now I have the gift for you. My friends over at Splendies, it's a premium underwear subscription service for ladies. They're going to give away a free 6-month subscription for one lucky lady or fella. I'm not judging, okay? But Splendies is the gift that keeps on giving. So every month you get a new shipment of 3 of the cutest undies around. Look at these things, folks. Check me out on the Facebook live stream. These are the cutest little underwears. Not to get graphic, but everybody has to wear underwear. And you could have cute ones that are themed Valentine's Day, or we have also a little holiday themed. And you never know what you're going to get. It's a surprise, and you'll get 3 every single month. We have thongs, we have boy shorts, briefs, whatever you need, whatever makes you feel like a lady. So enter the giveaway. Get a pen and paper or put it in your phone. Get ready. I'm going to tell you how to enter the giveaway because we are giving away a free 6-month subscription. So tweet me at Damona Hoffman and say Dates and Mates giveaway. Make sure you also tag Splendies, SPLENDIES, and use the hashtag Dates and Mates Holiday. And that's it. You'll be entered to win. Just get me your tweet by Wednesday, 12/27 at 11:59 p.m. before midnight, and one winner will be chosen at random and announced on Dates and Mates live next Thursday at 11 a.m. on 12/28. So again, tweet the phrase Dates and Mates giveaway to at Damona Hoffman, DamonaHoffman, and also tag Splendies using the hashtag Dates and Mates Holiday, and you could be on your way to 6 months of fabulous free undies by this time next week. Get in there, lovers. Welcome back to Dates and Mates. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Damona Hoffman here with Julie Spira, and we are ready to tackle your questions in Technically Dating.
Technically Dating.
Technically Dating is now brought to you in partnership with Black People Meet, which is the premier dating site for Black singles. But we're equal opportunity here. So we have questions. I'm just aiming to show that the questions are the same, Julie. No matter what your background, people are dealing with the same challenges in dating. So we're going to kick off the segment today with a question that comes to us from a user named Patricia. And she says, why are more people afraid of a relationship? than in not wanting to be in a loving adult relationship. So she's looking for a spirited exchange of ideas, journeys, and current events sprinkled with laughter. But she's having trouble finding that online. So I hear this a lot, Julie. I want a grown-up in an adult relationship, and everybody's just looking to play around.
Well, it's easy to spot the players. So when you spot the players, swipe left. They're the party guys. They're the guys that won't schedule you on a weekend. They cancel plans last minute. They've got a bellyache all the time. But give
them a Tums, all right?
Right. I mean, keep a ton of Tums there because that's one of the biggest excuses. I'm not feeling well. My dog ate the paper. There is no dog. But you don't know online that you're going to get everything on her wish list. You've got to meet in person. So basically, if she has those kinds of requirements and that's the kind of person she wants to meet, you can't list all of that because it just sounds like, oh, I don't want to meet this person. She is asking for too much. If you feel you have enough in common and that you can click meet, in time, after you've gone on a couple of dates, you'll figure out how spiritually evolved and how adult of a relationship he really wants. And if he's a jerk and he doesn't ask you out or he cancels on you 2 or 3 times, then move on. There's always going to be players online. And there's going to be always players offline. But there are so many people finding love online. I mean, I just went to a party and, the couple's daughter is getting married to a guy she met on a dating app. And she met him 7 months ago and they're having a big New York wedding. People are meeting online.
That's very fast. But the thing I want to make sure with Patricia is that I haven't seen her profile, but I want to make sure Patricia doesn't have anything in there about not wanting to date players or don't even come and talk to me if you are not a grown-up and you're not spiritually evolved, because that's what tends to happen when we get discouraged by the matches that we've found. We tend to lead with the things that we don't want.
It's amazing how many profiles I've seen that say, do not contact me if. And then they have all these reasons why somebody shouldn't contact you. And you're sending the message to someone, oh, they don't want me to contact them? I won't. So, right, you always have to have positive things. So if you don't eat meat, don't say, do not contact me if you're a meat eater. Just say, I prefer to eat healthy. And, I love cooking, poached salmon, and name what you like. Name everything that you like, not what you don't like. Say what you want. Don't say what you don't want because you just have a negative tone that just permeates your entire profile.
And then that goes back to the specificity point that we were making earlier. When you're more specific, you're more likely to get responses from the people that connect with what you say. So once we're getting offline, there was a whole thread on Black People Meet's Facebook page around communication. It seems like I asked, what confuses you about the opposite sex? And it seems like everybody is confused about what to say on those dates and how to get someone interested, like a woman named Teresa, I hope I'm saying that right. She said, trying to talk to men is like pulling teeth. How can you make it easier for Teresa so it doesn't feel that stressful?
Well, is she talking about conversations, like actually on the phone or in person, or is she talking about just text talk?
Oh, well, let's break it down in both ways.
Right, because if you're talking to somebody, I mean, here's the thing. I hate to say this, but guys listen to like every third or fourth word you say. And women, we love to ramble. And so, I have this like 20-minute rule. Like if you're on a first phone date with somebody, put the alarm on your phone to go off at 20 minutes because then you need to cut the conversation short. Either you have a new date on the calendar within 20 minutes or you don't. But if you drag that conversation out longer than 20, he's not listening.
See, I so agree with you. And this is why I know we're right, Julie, because we came up with these theories independently and they're the same. I always say do a phone date. Even now in this fast-paced world, people are skipping the phone date. It's so easy to get on the phone and see if there's chemistry enough to want to spend an hour with them. Because it's like people just skip it and then they go to the date, they get ghosted, and the person doesn't even show up on the date. Or they realize they have nothing in common with them and no chemistry, and now they're stuck on a 2-hour date and they can't get out of it.
Right. And the other thing about texting, it's a great way to say, hey, I'm running late, or gee, I'm the girl in the red dress, I'm already here. There's nothing wrong with arriving first. But if you're only texting to make dates or to stay in touch, it brings up so much anxiousness. Women become so anxious, the anxiety level is off the roof when they send a text and they go, he didn't write back, or he wrote back K or okay. He's been busy, he's in a meeting, he got it, he'll worry about it later when he has a chance to talk to you. And women overanalyze these text messages, but does he really love me? He only said K.
Oh, but I love to overanalyze text messages. That's what we do here, right? Yeah. By the way, producer Thomas, were you listening to every second, third word
just
that
about
Julie said?
that rate, yeah.
Okay. So you didn't catch the first word.
Yeah, but I
third,
kind of filled
fourth.
in the blanks, context clues as they taught us in school.
Context clues. I love it.
Love it.
I love it. But it's true, and I think we could the overall advice here is we could all do a better job listening, and I think we will connect better on dates if you're really staying in the moment and listening and responding, because we're already playing ahead. Like, women are already planning the wedding when they're sitting across on that first date. They're like, well, would my mom like him? I don't know. Like, could I see myself having kids with him? Would he fit into the wedding picture?
If we had the text bubbles and what was going through a woman's head about what she's thinking when he's talking, and she's not even listening to what he's saying so she can respond appropriately. And the man's thinking, she's attractive. I wonder what it would be like to have sex with her.
Right. And then we're all on our phones and nobody's paying attention. Speaking of our phones, we also have some questions that have been posted on the Textbird app, which you can download for free on the App Store. And this is where you get like crowdsourced immediate advice. And then we come in and talk about the most provocative questions. So I have some questions from all over the world, Julie, to share with you today.
Bring it on.
This question comes to us from Spain. Olé. Do you speak Spanish?
Un poquito.
Oh, fabulous. Hablas español. This person asks, I don't know if this is male or female. How do you know if someone is pretending to be a catfish? Oh, I guess it could be a guy or girl. I think this is a girl. How do you know if someone is pretending to be a catfish or if he's just one? Pretend catfish?
Well,
real
I don't
catfish?
know. If anybody's catfishing someone, they're probably not pretending to catfish. They have a very deliberate desire to be catfishing that person. And so if somebody's catfishing you, if you're chatting online and you never get onto a Skype or an audio call or some kind, you never get to hear their voice, you never get a date on the calendar, or it continues to get canceled. There's only one photo of this person. Gosh, she looks like a model. It could be a stock photo. And, they're pouring their heart out to you and telling you they love you instantly, but then they're never meeting you. It really comes down to move things along in the dating process. When you're online and you're chatting on Facebook or you're chatting on an app or dating site, move that relationship forward. And if somebody's unwilling to meet you and they've professed their love to you, red flag. So what do? With my clients, we take those photos, and I have busted several catfish folks. I take the photos and I put it into Google image reverse search, sometimes TinEye, and one of my clients, she thought this guy was going to be the love of her life. And I'm like, well, he's 15 years younger. He knows you're kind of financially set. Don't get so excited yet. I'm going to do a little snooping here. So I put on my cyber snoop hat.
Cyber dating expert doing cyber sleuthing.
And what happens is the guy is a model from somewhere in Italy, and she lives in Los Angeles. I'm like, sorry to burst your bubble, but, scratch this one off the list. I just reported him to the site.
Yeah, that happens a lot. People do steal photos. But I think the reality is that most of the people that are there are looking for some kind of connection. And if you can just quickly weed out those people that have the fake-looking profiles or never want to Skype with you or chat with you, I mean, get offline as quickly as possible,
or just one
right?
photo only. And I'm always leery about the profiles that only have one photo. I mean, people have more than one good shot. Right?
Totally, especially now. When back in the Middle Ages, when I started online dating, you might not, because I had to go to Kinko's before it was even FedEx Kinko's. It's not even Kinko's at all. It's just FedEx, right? Anyways, I had to go and I had to have an employee help me scan my photo in, and it was just the most embarrassing. So it would have been a real predicament if I needed more than. But I scanned 3 photos. Even then, I scanned 3 photos. So now you have just no excuse with the proliferation of smartphones. There's just no reason. We have another question, Julie, from a female who's 27. This is real stuff, Julie. You ready?
Ready.
She says, I'm married, been together since we were teenagers. I know we're growing apart, but it's breaking my heart because he's all I know, literally. Do I stay or start a new life?
Oh, gosh, my heart goes out to you. And I think what's really important to realize is that couples that grow together through each decade. And with each decade, we want something different. So you need to communicate. And I'm not a fan of breaking up relationships. If you're together and you loved each other once, go to counseling. Work on it. Figure out what your goals are. And if they are so opposite and you just can't get along at all, or if somebody's already found someone else, then I understand that those reasons, betrayal, are something that you might want to split up over. But don't just break up because you think you're growing apart. Find a way to grow together.
That's brilliant advice. And I think it's also natural that she's 27. She's been with him since she was a teenager. When you're 27 and you're about to move into like your adult life and your middle age, you have different goals and expectations out of life. You're changing. And so you have to assume he's changing as well and find a way to change together. But if it's not working, it's not working. And I would also say if you know that this relationship cannot be repaired, don't be afraid of starting over and finding a new relationship, because I think a lot of people stay in relationships because they're like, oh, I don't know how to do that, or I don't want to go through that. And then they just stay and stay and stay and realize in the end that they're totally miserable and they stayed 5 years longer than they should have.
And most people do. People stay in relationships longer than they should. Mm-hmm. No one should be in a bad relationship. There are many more opportunities for you to be happy. I'm just saying, don't kick someone to the curb until you've really sorted it out, gone to therapy, really determined that this is just not working, and then mutually make a decision to split together as amicably as you possibly can, because there are so many other people you can fall in love with.
Absolutely. This question comes to us from a young man. He's 21. He says, there's this girl that I've grown up with, and I want to ask her on a date. I've been spending time with her recently. How would I make a date different from a casual meetup like we've been doing over the past few weeks?
Aw, well, I think that's really sweet. You have like this great crush. Bring flowers. Honestly, you can't afford roses. Buy red tulips. They're really adorable. They have the same impact as roses at a fraction of the cost. And do something romantic. I mean, if you're just hanging out, you might be going Dutch treat to a movie. So if you're going on a date, show up, pick her up, dress nicely, bring flowers, pay for the date, and say, I'm really, really attracted to you. I think you're beautiful. Just amp it up.
I like that advice. I'm a little nervous for him, Julie, because they've been friends for a long time, and it sounds like he could just be in the friend zone. How can you... is it possible to switch the tone of a relationship if you've already built it in one way?
It is. I mean, because some of the best relationships start with friendships. There's no doubt about it. But what happens is, you have this little window of moving it towards, from a friendship to a flirtationship to a relationship. And if you're not moving forward, somebody in their head cannot see you anything other than as a friend. So if you're feeling something he's not, there's nothing wrong with just saying, I think I'm starting to develop feelings for you. I mean, I miss you when I'm not with you. And then shut up and listen.
That's my favorite philosophy, the shut up and listen philosophy. Because sometimes we overtalk, especially women, we overtalk things, right? We don't hear an immediate response. Like my husband is a real slow talker and a slow thinker, and I'll tend to jump in and try and complete his sentences and think like, oh, I know where you're going with this. And he's like, just let me finish a sentence. That's not what I was going to say. So I'm working on learning the art of shut up and listen as well. I think I'll pass that knowledge on to other people when I get it under control. This one comes to us from a young lady in the UK. She says, my boyfriend is always asking me to write him long, cute paragraphs, post about him on social media, leave him voice messages, but I never get anything back. I've asked him, but it's always an excuse. I feel like I'm making him happy, but I'm not getting anything back.
Stop doing it.
Simple. Gosh, you're just real direct with that.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're not getting what you're giving, then just pull back and stop doing it. And maybe he'll realize, wait a second, I need to do the same to make her happy. And if he doesn't, then he's just a really selfish guy thinking about himself.
And why is he asking her to do this and then not reciprocating? He's like an egomaniac, right?
He needs to feed his ego. He totally needs to feed his ego. And if he's asking her to write things about him, I don't know if he's asking other people to do the same, but it's very easy to catch on social media.
Speaking of social media, because I do get this question a lot too, what is an appropriate amount to share on social media about your relationship?
That is really a tough question. There are some couples that overshare all the time. And frankly, I want to see that you got engaged. I want to see something fun. I want to see what you did for your birthday or what vacation you went on, but not all the time. And I see some couples on social media that, have to share, like, it's their first kiss, but it's the first kiss every day for the last 5 years. And people don't want to see all that lovey-dovey stuff when they're not feeling it in their lives as well. So I always say, when in doubt, don't. Ration your posts and say to your partner, hey, what do you think about this picture? I want to post it. How do you feel about me posting it? I think you need to talk about what you're posting before you start over-posting.
Oh, but so many people think that will take the romance away. Like, talking about it before things happen. We just want to live in this state of constant impulsivity.
I think there's a really great rule of thumb with posting. If you don't want your children, your parents, or your boss to see it, then don't post it.
That's a good rule of thumb. And so many people don't listen to that because they think, it's private if I have my privacy settings, but we all can take a screenshot.
Click
buttons.
the share button. Everything is, we've got tweets that are indexed by the Library of Congress. We can go on and on and on.
Especially now. Not to get political.
We won't.
I'm going to stop myself.
Yeah, the hard-hitting political commentary we've offered has offended some listeners, right?
Yes. So I will let the tweets of some person speak for themselves without any additional commentary. Okay, we'll just move on to the next question because obviously I'm going off the rails a little bit. We want to stick with dating advice and not politics. So this one comes to us from a female. She's 21. She says, this guy that I've known for a few years, we flirted and hooked up before. He asked me on a date a month ago. So this is kind of the flip side. This is not the same person. So she says, unfortunately, I got sick. And then also he had a family emergency the day of the date. He said he was in a really tough place and didn't want to talk to anyone. So we both agreed that we wanted to try it at some point. I texted him back that I was thinking of him and no response. And that was over 2 weeks ago. So a month ago, he asked her on a date. The date didn't happen. 2 weeks ago, she texted him to say I was thinking of him. She's wondering, can I text him now? Or is that too clingy and annoying?
Sounds to me like he's asked for space. And, she sort of, reached in a little bit and said, hey, I'm here. And he ignored it. So my feeling is if it's been 2 weeks, give it another 2 weeks. Sometimes guys just need to be like MIA for 30 days until they start missing you again. And there's nothing wrong with circling back, but give it a few more weeks.
And it sounds like he has something else going on with his family. We always do this. Why do we always do this? We make it about ourselves. We're like, he's not texting me, so that must mean that I did something, or there's something wrong with me, or he's not attracted to me. He did ask her out, so he clearly has some attraction to her, and he's going through something. We don't know what it is, but don't internalize it, but don't let it stop your life from moving forward.
Move forward, but let him come for you. Men still like to be, they love the chase still. Let it be his idea to come back for you. But you already sent a text to say, you were thinking of him. He didn't reply. That's kind of rude, but the fact is he didn't reply. So whether he's in a relationship with someone else or he still needs a timeout, I don't know, but the ball's in his court.
Well, Julie, the ball is in your court now because we are doing our segment, dating ... We always end the show now with this segment where we're going to complete a sentence together, and you're going to give me the first instinct dating advice. Obviously, you're fantastic at this, and the advice you've given so far has been spot on. So now I'm going to put you on the spot. And
I'm in the hot seat.
You're in the hot seat, and just right off the top of your head, whatever comes to you, and go. Number 1, blank is always sexy.
Confidence.
Number 2, blank is never sexy.
Insecurity.
Okay, well, the biggest red flag on a dating profile is
No photo.
no photo. The number 4, the most common first date mistake is
Projecting to the future.
oh yeah, we talked about that. Number 5, the most important quality in a wife is
Respect. She's got to respect her guy.
Number 6, the most important quality in a husband is
Loyalty and devotion.
oh, wonderful. Thank you, Julie. I'm so glad that you were able to share the day with us. And I hope you enjoy your lovely Splendies gift.
Can't wait.
Julie is online. She's always online. I'm telling you guys, she's really on the cutting edge of everything that's happening in dating and relationships. So you should follow her on all the socials at Julie Spira, JuliESPIRA. And you have this weekly flirt newsletter with dating advice that people should check it out.
Absolutely. Cyberdatingexpert.com/flirt.
Cyberdatingexpert.com/flirt. Get the weekly flirt newsletter. And if you want to get some Splendies, you want to amp up the romance, you can enter the giveaway and get a free 6-month subscription to Splendies just by tweeting me at Damona Hoffman. And don't forget to tag at Splendies, SPLENDIES, with the phrase Dates and Mates giveaway. Use the hashtag Dates and Mates Holiday and enter the giveaway by Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. on 12/27. And the next week, we will announce who the winner is on this show, live and in person.
Wearing their Splendies.
Don't joke, Julie Spira. I might come in wearing some Splendies because it's the last show of the year, and we will be here celebrating Christmas. If you celebrate that, we wish you a very merry, happy one. And by the way, I forgot to thank our friends at blackpeoplemeet.com, the premier online dating site for black singles. Be sure to check that out and post your questions there on the Black People Meet Facebook page. We'll be back next week after the holiday with some happy dating advice, right?
Yeah.
Happy dating
New
advice.
Year's resolution tips, I'm sure.
You know what we're gonna do?
What are we
Producer
gonna do?
Thomas,
What are we gonna do?
we're gonna create a vision for the new year so you can draw in the love of your life in 2018. So we hope you have a wonderful holiday, and we'll see you next week. Until then, happy dating.